Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be showing you how to speed up your computer. Now what this tutorial will do is show you how to speed up general performance on web browsing, boot up time, things like that. And there's going to be 4 or 5 steps to it, and it's relatively easy. Now this will work on any Windows operating system, even XP, so if you want to try it on there you can. And it will work for XP, Vista 7 and Windows 8. So to start off, what we're going to do is launch a Microsoft configuration utility. So to do that, we're going to hold down our Windows key on our keyboard and press R, and this will bring up the run command. And what we're going to do is type in msconfig as I have here. Then once you've typed that in, make sure it's exactly the same and just click OK. Now here it's going to bring you up with this screen. You going to want to click selective startup. So it should be like that for you. It's normal, and you want to just click selective startup, and that'll be it for that tab. There's another tab called boot. Now what we're going to do here is it will show your OSs. You're going to want to click on advanced options, and it'll bring up this. We're going to make sure number of processors is checked, and bring up this drop down menu and make sure you select the highest number possible. So I have a dual core CPU in this PC, so I'm going to select 2. If you have a quad core, it would be 4, and so on. Now what you can also do is if you have below 3 gigs of RAM, you can check this maximum memory. But as you can see here, I have 8192, which is 8 gigs of RAM. So that will just decrease your RAM for Windows for some reason. But if you got over 3 gigs, make sure that's unchecked, and just click OK. And you can also select no GUI boot, and what that will do on Windows 7 is take away the starting Windows animation. On Windows 8 I'm not too sure, but it will just make it so it's a bare boot. There's no graphical images when you're booting up your PC. Now I don't do that solely because I don't see any performance difference, but you may do, so just experiment with that. And why it says timeout here, if it says anything like 30 seconds, just change that to 3. So it may look like this to you, and just take the 0 off and change it to 3, and that what it should do is speed up shutdown time. Now you're not going to want to check make all boot settings permanent, just in case you need to change this. So that's it for this tab. Now we can go to services. Now what we're going to do here is uncheck hide all Microsoft services, and we'll see a lot of services here which are running in the background of our PC. Now if you don't use these services, there's no need to have them on here, and it's just going to take up system resources, therefore slowing down the PC. So once you've ticked hide all Microsoft services, you can really untick what you don't need running in the PC constantly. So if you see some of them and you don't know what they are, just look at the manufacturer. As you see here, it says Apple, so that's going to have something to do with iTunes or something like that. Now I personally don't use iTunes, so I can just untick that, and you do the same. If you don't know what some of these are, you could always Google search them, and you will get things pop up with what they do. Now also if you see toolbar updaters and things like that, you can disable them, but we'll get more into toolbars when we're uninstalling things. So that's it for the services for me. So I'm just going to go to the startup tab, and here on Windows 8 it says open task manager, but if you're on Windows 7 it would just look exactly like the services tab, but I'll show you what to do on that in a minute. So if you're on Windows 8, make sure you apply it before you open it, just so they save, and it will bring up here the task manager on Windows 8. Now it will probably show you this, but if you just click more details and go to startup, if it doesn't show you that already, it will bring up all the startup items. Now it will show you what programs and services start with your PC, and this will slow down your boot time as more things have to load. So just look down this list and find out what you don't need to boot with your PC. So I don't need QuickTime, so we'll just find the one you don't want and right click and click disable, and just do this with a few of them. As you can see, it'll tell you if it's enabled or disabled, and obviously I've disabled some already. Now, be aware if you do disable antivirus or things like that, like AVG if you have that, or security essentials and things like that, you won't be protected from viruses. Make sure you don't do that. Also, make sure your Java updater and Flash updater are all up to date. Make sure they stay on, because that is how viruses can get into your system and therefore make your computer even slower. So, once you've done that, you just want to click, well, you just want to go off that, and then that's really it for the configuration utility. So we can just click OK. Ask us to restart. Now, you could do this, but I'm not going to, just because I'm in a video. I will restart after this video though, to make sure they all take effect. Now, that isn't enough really to speed up your PC. I mean it will, but there are other things you can do. So what I'm going to do is go to my start menu. If you're on Windows 8, just go to the start screen and just start typing. This will do the same thing. You're going to want to type disk cleanup, and this should pop up. In Windows 8, it will be in settings if you still can't see it and you're on the start screen. Now I have a start menu here, and this will bring up this screen, and what this is going to do is remove all the files we don't need on our system. Now while this is loading up, if you don't want to use this, or you want to go more in depth with the clean, you can go to this website, which will be in the description, piriform.com/ccleaner, and it will more or less do the same job and more. So gonna wait for this, and then I'll come back when it's, now that it's done. It brought up this window, which wants us to tick some things what we want to get rid of. So say you can free up a certain amount of megabytes or gigabytes of disk space on your main drive. Now, basically, if you haven't done this since you got your PC and you've had your PC a few years or so, this will be really large. It may be about 10 gig or something in size. So you really want to get rid of these, as they're, making your hard drive slower as there's more things on and things like that. So as you can see here, mine only says 40 megabytes just because I've done this recently. And what we're gonna want to do is go down this list and make sure all these boxes are checked. Now, once you've done that, we can just click OK, and so you're sure you want to permanently delete them. Yeah, we can. There's nothing really important here apart from what's in your recycle bin. I just have a couple of shortcuts, so it's not important to me. But if you have something in your recycle bin and you want to keep it, make sure that's restored before you do this, or untick recycle bin. Now you're just gonna want to click delete files, and this will may take a long time depending on how much you have sort of got to free up. Now, obviously I said you can get CCleaner, and that would just help fix registry issues and things like that. But it's not really important. This disk cleanup will do the job if you don't want more software on your PC. So the third thing we can do is do a disk defragment. So what that will do is sort of make access times on our hard drive quicker, therefore making your computer faster. Now what we're going to want to do is type in the search defrag. As I said, if you're on Windows 8, just go to start screen, start typing, it will do the exact same thing. Now what we're going to want to click on is defragment and optimize drives, and bring up this, and it may show several drives if you have recovery, partition, things like that. What we're going to want to do is make sure we're focused on our C drive. Now before you do this, if you have an SSD, which you most likely won't, because you won't really be having these problems if you do, as they're so quick, make sure you don't defragment, otherwise it will kill the drive slowly. It won't necessarily kill it first time, but it will just reduce the lifespan of the drive. As you can see here, I've last run it 3 days ago, and it doesn't hurt to do it every so often. So what you're going to want to do is click analyze, and what that will do is analyze the drive, see how much it's fragmented up. This may run quite quickly. Mine is just because of I've done it recently, and it says here it's 0% fragmented, so I don't really need to do it, and it also says okay. But what you're going to want to do is, after you analyze it, if yours is big number, say maybe 20%, or anything over 5, just make sure you do optimize. And you know, this will take a while, but you can speed that up with various programs, which I will show in a minute. Now what you can also do is create a schedule for it, just so you know it does it in the background every week or so, which is recommended, which is what I have here. As you can see, I have it running weekly, and says notify me if that you can't do it. And you can also choose what drives it, choose to defragment. But you know, having a schedule is really recommended, and you know it will make it so you don't have to go into this defrag window every time your computer gets slow. You know, it just carry on doing it and carry on staying fast. So that's it for the defrag. If you want to speed that up or get maybe a better program that goes in depth, I personally don't really have the need for it. We can go to this website, iobit.com, to download Smart Defrag 2. That will also be in the description with CCleaner and any other links. And you know, we can just click free download, and that will just speed up the time and things like that. So next thing really is to disable some features of Windows that could be slowing it down. What we're going to want to do is go to our start menu and right click on computer. If you're on Windows 8, you want to right click on Windows or this PC and go to properties. And if you don't have a start menu on Windows 8, you can just go to this PC and click system properties. It'll bring up the same window. And once we're here, we're going to click on advanced system settings and go to the advanced tab if you're not already on it. Then under performance, it will say visual effects and things like that. Go and click settings and make sure you're on this visual effects tab. Now you can adjust it for best appearance, or most likely you'll be ticked on this. You can either adjust it for best performance. If you're on Windows 7 or lower, it will change it to the classic theme and everything like that. But as you can see, I've got a custom one here for what I like. So you can just tick what you want. Drop shadows under icon labels, so puts a shadow. You know, it really is self-explanatory. Translucent selection is that on the desktop. Thumbnails instead of icons, which just basically may show a preview of it. And animate windows while minimizing and maximizing. If you're on a older computer, these three animation tabs will slow it down significantly, so make sure these are all unchecked. Then once you've done that, just click apply and OK again, and off that. Now the last thing we can do is check for viruses, as these will run background processes and also cause your computer to slow down. So to do that, we can, if you already have an antivirus installed, just make sure you open up that. And as you can see here, I have AVG. If you don't have any proper antivirus installed, you could also use Windows Defender if you're on Windows 8. But just type in Windows Defender. Now, if you click on it and you get this message, this is because I have an AVG running instead of it. But what this is on Windows 8 is basically Microsoft Security Essentials. If you're on Windows 7 or Vista, you can go to this website, which will also be in the description. It will take you to a page to download Microsoft Security Essentials. Now this is a free antivirus, and it will, you know, scan your PC for viruses and help you clean them up. Now, if you do have to download it, make sure you obviously select English and choose whether you're on 32-bit or 64-bit. And yeah, you can do that. But if you're on AVG or whatever, any antivirus, you can go for a scan. I know on AVG it's quite easy really. You can just click on options and go scan computer. And you know, you can do this every couple of weeks or so, and you know, it may help you get viruses and things like that. So yeah, that's really it for this video. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, a like would be appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.